Very much. So you're going to help me with moving the slide forward, right?
Sure, ma'am. I'll be here, and just let me know when you want to switch the slide.
So here I would actually want to ask a few questions to people before I start off. Try to unmute them accordingly. Okay. So first thing that I would want to know, first thing that I would like to tell you guys is what the term mind cradling means. So that's something that I associate myself with. My account is called Peace Hive or the mind cradle because it's like you can cradle everything in the world, but your mind is your property, which only you should handle. What people tend to do is they give the others so much importance in life that they become the bosses of your minds. Never let that happen. And how we can cradle our minds is what I will be talking about today. Okay. So to start off, what I have in store for you, you can go to the next slide, is going to talk about psychologists, what psychology is all about, firstly, and what psychologists do, what the society is like, and what kind of stereotypes are kind of bound by it, right? Because that is, firstly, because of which people do not even think about talking about it, even to their siblings or family. Family is one unit where you can talk about every damn thing. But then why not about your mind? Because mind is something that is very like personal to you, and you feel that the family is very personal to you. But even there is a stereotype that if you're talking about your mind, means you have a mental disorder, right? But it's not like that. There is something else to it. And how do we break that stereotype? Who causes the stereotype is something that we will talk about. Okay. And the other thing, how would you know that you can actually be your own helper? That is something that you can do through self introspection. Okay. So I would have one or two little ways to show you how you can self introspect yourself. All right. And I've also happened to see many of your questions. Like most of them have shared their questions about how to handle this, that, thoughts, but how to not kind of think about something else where you actually have to focus on something else. Maybe you have to study, but there is a song ringing in your mind. So multiple things like that happen. How do you take care of that? And what is it like? I actually, to be very honest, ever since I started posting pictures of this event happening, this webinar happening, I haven't shared even with the organizers, but then yes, I have started receiving things as well on my Insta handle that there are certain issues, and everybody has only one thing to say that they are depressed. One thing that I really felt good about was that they started thinking about their minds. But what kind of, I'd say I got a little more sad about, or I'd say more, I felt that it has to be broken. The thought has to be broken is that the concern that I had was they are not able to differentiate between stress, anxiety, and depression. These three are different things. Stress, anxiety, and depression are things that cannot be one and the same. They have to be treated as separate individual things. Okay, so how that happens is something that I would be talking to you about. All right, and to deal with all of these, you need, or there are certain therapies, and these therapies, when you introduced me, there were many things that you spoke about me, that I am an NLP, I'm a cognitive behavioral psychologist, child psychologist, does that. So these are the different therapies, certifications that we have in therapies. Some of them that I do are not even there in India, but I wish to bring them to India because these therapies are kind of suggested to you basis what your issue is. Okay, not everybody is depressed, not everybody has anxiety. Somebody might have some other issue which can be kind of sorted out with a simple art, right? So these the different types of therapies, and you should leave it to the therapist the psychologist, to decide which therapy is important for you. And how do you decide on which therapist is important to you? That we will talk about. All right. And after all of this, there is one thing that I would really want to talk to you about or share a tip on, which is emotional freedom technique. Okay. Sometimes what happens is we kind of think that I wish there was one tab in which, by doing which, I could have solved all my problems. EFT it is. Okay, I'll talk to you about that. So we can move to the next slide and I will tell you what I'm going to say about. Okay, thanks. So, what is psychology? I would really want somebody to help me with it. Just help me with the understanding the term psychology from you guys. I don't mind. Unmute whoever wants to answer this question. Guys, anybody? Nobody? Or anybody from SITA can also say, yeah, somebody is there.
Yeah, ma'am. Hi. This is Arshia.
Yeah, Arshia.
Yeah, ma'am, actually, I don't know the exact meaning of psychology, but I would say that it's the study of behavior and mind.
So let me tell you. So study of behavior and mind, and yeah, whatever you're saying, like answering to a wrong, answering a question in the incorrect way, all of this, studying people like you, many things like this, it means is what it is, right? Psyche means soul, right? And logy means the study. So how you study the soul and the mind is what is meant by psychology. Right. So if you have to put in your thoughts of what you understand by it, in very simple definition, I could say that it is the study of how people think. And to define it more scientifically, it is the study of one's mental process and behavior. Okay. So it is the prediction of a person regarding any decision. It is the innermost feeling of a person developed over a long period of time. Right. And why do you think do you require to know what it is? Can anybody tell me that? Guys? I wanted this to be an interactive session because that will help us have more idea as to what we are talking about.
Ma'am, can you repeat the question once again?
Yeah. Why do you think we need to know about psychology?
Ma'am, that is because not all medicines can cure us always. It's sometimes we actually need to do something for ourselves. Like when it comes to physical activities, we play, we do exercises. So that keeps us healthy. But for our brains also, we need to do something that can help us be healthier.
So that is actually what I was looking for. So you know what happens? We have everything, like we have medicines for everything. It's more like you have the right nutrition for your body, you have the right medicines to feel good, you have the right supplements to have to give food to your every part which needs your support. But to give food to your thought, you really need to know what psychology is all about, right? It will help you know what your life is all about. Not that you aren't aware of what you are or who you are, but it's just that at times it is necessary for one to know what is actually happening with them, why they act a certain way, why they respond to certain things in a certain way, and also why certain people behave a certain way while they might be all normal until a while ago, and then they suddenly turn strange, right? So whether this behavior as such should be considered normal, or how should you react to situations as such, and if you're reacting in a certain way, how much of an impact is it going to happen on your regular life, and how you could prevent it from harming your peace, your health, and everything around you, right? That is something that you need to learn about and help yourself with. And in case you cannot, you definitely should try to seek help from a psychologist, right? And that is why we are here, right? So can you move to the next slide? Yeah. So this is where I'm talking about what psychologists and psychiatrists do, right? So there are people like how I was just telling Pavitra a while ago that medicines, neurologists, psychiatrists give you medicines to go and hit the neurons or the parts which